Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Auphanim. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it to the moon. So, stellar, naughty. You're trying to hide things from us. Now, they have this muxed accounts, and I don't want to lose my place here, but it's a muxed accounts fact page here. And they made a tweet recently about the muxed accounts, okay? So it says muxed accounts, a new type of Stellar account that makes it easy to map a single Stellar address to multiple users, are now live. Oh, this is so good. At this point, I'm feeling just a little bit better, just a little bit. At this point, all products and services built on Stellar need to make sure they can validate and send payments to muxed accounts. Let's go a little bit further. What are muxed accounts? A muxed account is an account that exists virtually under a traditional Stellar account address. It combines the familiar GABC address with a 64-bit integer ID and can be used to distinguish multiple virtual accounts that share an underlying real account. What does that sound? What does that sound like? I mean, employers and, being able to issue payroll, possibly. I don't know. Now, they're not going to say that, but let's go a little bit further here. Let's just take a little look. Custodial services generally used muxed accounts to map incoming payments to an internal customer database. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb, and there may be another mechanism that is, let's say, paired with muxed accounts. I don't know if this is a one-way door, okay? But if a protocol is capable, or an aspect of a protocol or a mechanism is capable of bringing in payments, it's also capable of sending out payments, typically. Now, like I said, there could be another mechanism where it's being utilized, that particular mechanism, which is not being spoken about at this current time. It's possible that that would be used to send payments outwardly. What I'm saying is, before I say what I'm saying, muy lindo, mi gente, muy lindo. This is getting interesting. I was reading an article when I was not feeling so good. I was reading an article about their experiments in the Ukraine with Stellar and XLM. One of the main experiments was payroll. They were using XLM for payroll, sending money in, money out, whatever it is you do with payroll. That's what they were utilizing it for. You can look this experiment up. So it just seems that this would be good as an upgrade for payroll. We know a lot of the other banking coins are trying to have payroll rolled out on them as well. Auream, I believe it was in El Salvador. They're trying to roll out payroll on Auream. Okay, you guys can look that up. I believe I provided the screenshot of that in a recent video. Let's scroll down here just a little bit more. Let's read a little bit more. Here's another indicator to me, in my humble opinion. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they won't use this. It's not a mechanism for payroll. Maybe it's not, but maybe it is. And here's another indicator, in my humble opinion, that might lean towards that. It says muxed accounts were implemented back in Protocol 13, and they've existed at the protocol level since July 2020 network upgrade. So there you have it for people that are going to say muxed accounts already existed. But here's the part that they didn't say before. It says, however, they were hidden behind a feature flag in the Stellar SDKs until January 10th, 2022. Let me read that again. However, they were hidden behind a feature flag in the Stellar SDKs until January 10th, 2022 to give ecosystem projects time to adjust their code to enable users to send payments to muxed accounts. Listen, if you were going to be experimented with and consider yourself an open source and everybody can use all the features, if that were the case, then when a central bank or an institution, large or small, is going to be utilizing your particular protocol in a certain way for payroll, then everybody should have the ability to do the same, right? So then you would in order to save face and not be a hypocrite, you would have to make something, at least a piece of that particular aspect, available to the public, right? This looks like it might be that, in my humble opinion. Now, like I said, I could be completely wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm not. I can only tell you what I'm seeing here, but it just seems that way, that everything is coinciding around the same time. They're experimenting with payroll, and then you have this upgrade or you have this release. Or let's read a little bit further. It says, now that MUXed accounts are out from behind the feature flag, existing wallet exchanges and custodial services that use a pooled account model are introducing MUXed accounts into their projects on the receive side. New custodial products will be built with MUXed accounts from day one. So there you have it. A little bit more on MUXed accounts. It says there are two different models that applications and services built on Stellar use to handle user accounts. The account per user model, in which each user has their own Stellar account, and the pooled account model, in which the application or service uses a single account for multiple users and keeps track of individual user balances in an internal database. Sounds a lot like payroll. One account, this is the business, right? The business account. Multiple users of that account or recipients. I mean, I'm going to assume that, let's say, because most individuals who are utilizing the blockchains have, I'm just going to say, intermediary that is cultivating the blockchain to work in a particular way. Let's say like how Bit is doing, right? Bit is running Stellar, but is running through Bit's system. All right, there's a particular way that they're manipulating the system and formulating it to function a certain way. Or let's say like MTech is setting up infrastructure for Hedera. So you have intermediaries that are cultivating them a certain way. And I'm going to assume that if you were to issue payroll or something of that nature, then you will be utilizing these particular MUXed accounts and have the main account be the business account, right? Or whoever is running the business, I guess the owner and president, CEO. And then the other accounts, the multitude of user accounts where you could send money to people's paychecks and such, and it could be cultivated as such. Now, that's what that looks like to me. We'll wait and see. As I said before, they said that you could build on top of this. There will be other things built with it. Of course, you have a lot of different individuals building for Stellar and on Stellar. So we'll wait and see what happens. But there could be another mechanism that Stellar itself, the foundation, has developed that could complement this. Or there could be an outside entity, and another NBFI, non-banking financial institution that would build something like this, or tech company. We'll see, but that looks like what is for. It looks like it's for payroll. Algorand's already trying to do payroll. I believe is in El Salvador. Cello is trying to do payroll. I mean, that's what it looks like. Stellar is trying to keep up, or not trying to keep up. It is keeping up, and they just do it in a much more quiet way. That's what it seems to me. They don't want a whole lot of eyes on them right now as they're building. They would like it, as it would appear to me, to keep things as quiet as possible while they're building it. Why that is, maybe they feel like it would mess up some business relationships or something to have too much interest at this particular time. Maybe they like to operate in a more quieter environment. I don't know, but that's what it seems like right now. So also we have Stellar making the what I would deem as the very, very light advertising rounds. Okay, now this is advertising, in my humble opinion, to particular minds. So it's not commercial advertisements just yet. But they want to reach out to certain minds to bring them in, certain institutions, central banks, commercial banks, large business institutions. Okay. You have Danelle Dixon here. On January 18th, she will join the @Female Quotient in the Virtual Equality Lounge at Davos. So you have Danelle Dixon there, and then you have Stellar will be attending. It says there is an accelerator open for 1 week. SDF is proud to sponsor. So then they're sponsoring this accelerator on the 20th. Okay. Berkeley Blockchain Accelerator. So you have their presence being felt in that. Then there's another thing that they're doing. There's like 3 different things that they're doing all around the same time. Okay, I can't find the other event here, but this shows the activity of Stellar is increasing. And I think that this year we're going to see a lot of development, a lot of this sort of light advertising building. And I think it goes along with what Hedera was saying, that they wanted to do more advertising this year. We'll see if they actually do it. They were saying they wanted to do more advertising this year than ever before. I think this is the year, just in case there's regulatory clarity. It looks like it might be close. It does. A lot of the government officials or governmental officials are talking in a way that seems like they might be the ones who will issue regulatory clarity. I think this is the year to start advertising heavy and start bringing awareness to certain audiences and crowds. And I would say to do heavy advertising as what Hedera was saying that they were going to do. Because if there's regulatory clarity, then you want to be able to immediately roll everything out. Oh, I want to also touch on Consensys striking a deal with Visa, which is no big deal whatsoever. Consensys deal with Visa does not negate from Visa's prior deal that they did, or partnership, if you will, with Tala, which is leveraging the Stellar blockchain for cross-border payments. You cannot beat Stellar when it comes to cross-border payments. You're talking about Starlight Protocol does 1 million transactions per second between 2 parties. They're only going to increase that. They're only going to build more and more on that. Visa also has ties. Like I said, at any time they want, they could reach out to FIS, who has, I believe FIS is able to set up infrastructure. And FIS is on the governing board of Hedera. At any time, MTech could reach out to Visa if they wanted to and roll out infrastructure. MTech, who is leveraging Hedera and pushing it everywhere, doing a wonderful job, they could easily set up infrastructure for Visa. But so what I'm saying is that the deal with Consensys is no threat to what Visa has going on with Stellar or any other blockchain that they might want to utilize. All of these companies that are trying to build CBDC infrastructure are using a myriad of crypto, banking coin rails. They're using a myriad of them, okay? Now, Ethereum is not an optimal cryptocurrency to utilize as a banking coin rail. I say that because, and I know there's a lot of new people here, so I'm going to reiterate this from a previous video that I was saying the same. I was iterating this before. Consensys had problems in Thailand with the Thailand central bank rolling out their central bank digital currency. Now, Thailand had to put off their development of central bank digital currency until the end of 2022. I perceive that there will be more problems with Consensys because Ethereum was never made to be a cryptocurrency rail, a banking coin rail to move massive amounts of fiat currency back and forth. I'm talking massive amounts of fiat currency back and forth to run payroll, to a massive amount of transactions per second and quickly. Ethereum is nothing that's quick about Ethereum. Nothing is cheap about Ethereum. While XLM, XRP, HBAR, Cello, and Algorand are made for that very purpose. They're very cheap. They're very fast. They achieve consensus very quickly. So I perceive there's going to be many more problems with Consensys. However, Ethereum is popular. It's popular. So it advertises. The name itself carries weight, and its name is everywhere. It doesn't even need to advertise. So when big companies want to reach out for a CBDC, they initially are going to go for the company that is big and popular. No problem. But it allows them to experience that. And if there's a negative that comes with that, I'm not saying that there is. Okay? I know there's a lot of brilliant minds at Consensys. But if there's a negative that comes with that, let them experience that. And then they'll want to swap out. They can swap out, or they can recombine things. They can run something else over that blockchain. They can switch it at will. This is why it's important that companies are starting to develop MBDCs and MCBDCs, like what IBM did. They came up with an MCBDC, and they're ready to roll it out. That's what the IBM announcement was about. when they were saying that they had tested it, they tested their MBDC, MCBDC, and they were ready to roll out this infrastructure to the banks that they're working with, and they're working with a myriad of banks. It's just a matter of the banks giving the go-ahead. This is what Visa wants to do. So no, Consensys, the Consensys deal is no threat to the banking coins whatsoever. I do believe that Ethereum could experience a spike if they're able to pull off one CBDC. One. Ethereum will see the biggest spike it has ever seen in its existence. I'm talking about a parabolic run for the ages when it comes to Ethereum. Because Ethereum is easily moved at this point right now, is easily moved by retail. So if Ethereum were to land a CBDC and actually pull it off, and yeah, it would go through the roof. However, that's if they can pull it off. There's so many superior technologies that could step into that, like Hedera HBAR, XRP, XLM Algorand. There's so many superior technologies that I just don't see a bank sticking with Ethereum with their high gas fees. You might as well stick with the legacy system and their high fees from their intermediaries. Why would you want to pay these high gas fees unless Consensys has a way to negate those particular fees? That's definitely possible, but I haven't heard about that yet. But if you're not going to negate those high fees, then you might as well stick with the legacy system. But if you want to step into the future, then you use something that the fees are so low that they're almost non-existent, like Hedera, XRP, XLM, Algorand, Cello, who they already have infrastructure ready to hand to you. And you can win like that. You are winning as soon as you utilize the particular protocol. I just find it hard to believe that when those companies are brought those new advanced technologies that are superior to Consensys and Ethereum, that they don't renegotiate terms of whatever that MOU was or that contract is. I just find it hard that they don't renegotiate or renege on that. I mean, they could buy themselves out of a contract, I believe, right? But I don't think Consensys cares. I think Consensys sees this as a power move, and I think Consensys wants a chunk of that money. I really do. I think this is about power and money as far as what they can grab in the short term. But I'm not so sure that they see this as a long-term thing. I don't understand how that would be possible. It's so simple to roll out infrastructure on Hedera. It's so simple to roll out infrastructure on Stellar. Stellar Foundation is all too happy to help you build your CBDC infrastructure. And they don't even have to do it because IBM is already ready to roll out your complete CBDC infrastructure and help you in every possible way, including security. So you have things like that. So no, I wasn't fazed by that at all. I think that's a very good experience for Visa. However, I think they would be foolish to stick with Consensys for that. I mean, it doesn't negate from the fact that they're going to be utilizing Tala, which is leveraging Stellar for cross-border payments. All that cross-border money is going to be so good. Muy linda, mi gente, muy linda. So now we have an article here by Rachel Wolfson. This is on Cointelegraph.com, and it reads as such: over time, we will see the NFT market broaden, says Ripple CTO David Schwartz. I've been saying this. Now you hear David Schwartz himself telling you this. The NFT market, listen, and all blockchains should want a piece of this. The banking coins should have the biggest chunk of the NFT market because they are the ones that are built for moving fiat back and forth. And when you're dealing with NFTs, you want low fees, you want the lowest fees, and you want the quickest transaction times because you want to get paid. You're an artist selling visual arts, your paintings, your NFTs, your digital creations, your GIFs. You want to sell real estate. You want to tokenize your stocks and stuff like that, whatever it is you might want to tokenize. You want to tokenize your video game. You want low fees and you want your money as quickly as possible. You want everything to be secure so no one can steal your stuff. That's where the banking coins come in. XRP. There's going to be NFTs now on XRP. Amazing. Good job. Good job, Ripple. Good job, XRP. There's going to be NFTs on Stellar. Okay. And when I say there's going to be, because there's already on these blockchains, there's already NFTs, everything's going to continue to improve, and more things of a high value you're going to see of a high value are going to be moving across those blockchains. This is major, massive. Do not underestimate NFTs and what they're going to bring. And I told you, you haven't seen anything yet. It goes well beyond the monkey pictures and the boat pictures that you're seeing now. It goes well beyond that. The world will be tokenized. I said this months ago. And now we're seeing other individuals of respected minds saying the same thing. So let's go in here. Let's read a little bit further. Non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, have been dominating the crypto market this year, with sales topping 2.5 billion during the first half. 2.5 billion during the first half. This is without all of the other assets. This is with only a few assets being tokenized. 2.5 billion during the first half of 2021. It shouldn't come as a surprise that both the crypto community and mainstream creators are launching NFTs in hopes of driving revenue and engagement. The rise of the metaverse has also pushed the adoption of NFTs. Listen, I want to say this. I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to give them a bone. I don't know if someone's actually already doing this or not. Muy linda, mi gente. Let me tell you something. That metaverse, and this is why I'm watching certain projects. Because depending on what they do, their foray into the metaverse might send some non-banking coins absolutely parabolic. Absolutely. I mean, more than what you've seen already. You haven't seen anything yet. When they started NFT movie tickets, right? Rare movie tickets or whatever that was, it might not have been rare. I thought they said rare movie tickets. When they started NFT and movie tickets, I said to myself, wait until someone puts a movie theater and is showing movies. Like, let's say, like they just had the Matrix movie. If someone, a large company, were to put a theater in the metaverse, and they show films there, and you pay just like a theater in real life, IRL. My goodness, raise a toe. Wherever they host that theater, raise a toe. People from all around who don't want to go out anymore, they don't want to go to movie theaters anymore, they're going to be in the metaverse, in that metaverse theater, watching. They will purchase the tickets in the metaverse, and they will watch the movie in the metaverse theater with all their family and friends and everyone who wants to come watch a movie with them. Mark my words. If they don't do this, that would be foolish. That is money on the table. I just handed it to them. Unless someone's making that already, I just handed it to you. When I heard about those NFT movie tickets, I thought about that. And let me tell you, that's why I'm looking at these projects that are building eye-catching metaverses. Eye-catching, because people will want to go there. They don't want to be somewhere boring, because those particular non-banking coins, they might raise a tall. You never know. But if they do, I'm in, and I'm going to scoop up all of that money. I'm cold-hearted and vicious when it comes to that. I'm watching for catalysts. Watch the charts, watch the news, do the research, and when it's time, I know exactly when it's time, and I get in it. That's what happened to the SHIB army. I watched closely, listened to what everyone was saying. I have a lot of experts that talk to me. And I said, ooh, I see what's going to happen. Got in low. Raise a toe. Took profits, got out of there. Risky moves, but that's why you got to be careful. But I'm watching any non-banking coin that is building a metaverse world, right? Metaverse is an overarching thing, and then there's a lot of different crypto that are crypto companies that are building their own worlds within the metaverse, and I'm keeping an eye on them, a close eye, because they could raise it. They can go parabolic at any moment that this metaverse is finally up and running fully, and they're doing things like running movie theaters. Imagine parties. People are, I'm watching what's happening on the internet, and they're bowling in the metaverse. They're having meetings in the metaverse. Meetings. They're hanging out with friends in the metaverse. How far-fetched is it that, or in the virtual worlds, let me just say virtual worlds, okay? That are now a part of the metaverse, by the way, because I want to say that, but at the same time, they're now a part of the metaverse. But how far-fetched is it to think that if people are doing all of that in virtual worlds right now, they wouldn't go to the movie theaters in virtual worlds. How about just watching a movie? You're just renting movies in the metaverse. How about that? How far-fetched is that? That means a lot of money on the table, a lot of money on the table. I don't know about you, but I like money. So I'm going to keep my eye on some of these projects. Man, my goodness, the NFT market is going to bring so much over the next few years. It's mind-blowing. It really, really is. So I'm just keeping my eye on some of these catalysts. But yes, I agree with David Schwartz. It's going to broaden. It's going to bring a lot to the table here. It says, while NFT sales soar, the Ethereum blockchain continues to rule the space. Yeah, for now. For now. Because the people haven't had the advertising put in their face yet to say, hey, you can sell and buy NFTs on Hedera at almost no cost at all. They haven't had that put in their face yet. They haven't had it put in their face with advertising that XLM. You can buy NFTs on Stellar blockchain, almost no cost whatsoever, or XRP. They haven't had it yet. So yes, while no one is advertising heavily, Ethereum is going to rule. But should they ever begin, then the decline of Ethereum, as far as that aspect in particular, then the decline of Ethereum in that aspect as the ruler of the NFT market will have begun. It will have begun. And I anticipate that you will see a war. You will see a war over that market share in the NFT space real soon. And I think, I could be completely wrong, I think Hedera leads that war. I really do. They have some great projects they're working on. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I think that they would be the first to let off shots, so to speak. And that would be good for you and I. That would bring so much money. That Hedera, that H-bar price would go raise. No, it would raise up, and there will be a parabolic spike. But we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see how that turns out. Here we have another article. This one is on Ripple.com, and it is titled "A Turning Point in Underserved Markets." Let's read this just a little bit here. The term gray market might conjure up images of nefarious players exchanging cash in shadowy alleys. I love how they introduce this, right? Because this is clearly made for legacy system readers. There are so many banking and corporations and such that are going to read this article, and that's what they think about when they think about crypto. They love to paint crypto initially as like this shady thing. And this is why regulatory clarity is necessary to remove that stigma and get rid of all of the cum rocket coins and kitty anime coins and nonsense that is bringing down the prestige of the crypto markets that they deserve, that will bring in a lot of the old money that is sitting on the sidelines that crypto definitely needs and deserves, is being held back by a lot of the more immature aspects of the sphere. Let's go here. Underserved markets 101. Okay, running the payments business is an expensive proposition. And underserved markets have grown up around the edges of mainstream services to fill a need for more accessible alternatives. These markets have a long, rich history, and informal channels are sometimes the only affordable option to send what would otherwise be fully transparent payments across borders. Regulatory agencies are valid in their scrutiny of informal value transfer systems and the possible risk that accompanies anonymity. But individuals and communities that rely on remittance payments deserve an affordable, compliant path forward. Informal lifelines. These untraditional payment channels often appeal to the unbanked that have difficulty meeting capital bank requirements for formal remittances. So in other words, the banks are making it too hard for people that are migratory. They're coming from one country to another. They need to send money back to the old country, or money from the old country back to the new country. But they're having difficulties that the banks have been causing. So they're looking to other means, and this is where some of the NBFIs, the crypto NBFIs, non-banking financial institutions can step in and help. But now you have these hindrances, right? You have these hindrances like the SEC, for instance, is holding back Ripple. It definitely is holding back Ripple. And so everything can't be done to the fullest that it might be if there wasn't these regulatory blockades, for lack of a better word. And so now what's happening is a lot of the migratory populations are looking at more unsavory methods of sending money back and forth, right? It could be very, not only dangerous, but devastating to those particular populations. So yeah, there's so much to be said about what's going on at this particular time, but it is a benefit to the legacy system because the legacy system is making so much money that it doesn't want to change how it's doing business. It just doesn't. And to be fair, it's a machine, so it doesn't care. It doesn't care about people and how it hurts and affects people. It's business. Business is cold-hearted and cutthroat. We all should know that. When it comes to money, no one wants to lose money. And they start, what people do, they reconcile the cold nature of making money with it's a you or me type of conceptualization of money versus life, right? It's like, well, my life is on the line. If I don't make this money, my lifestyle's on the line. Who do I want to win? Only one of us can win. It's this fight or flight mentality or archetype that we start to embody. That, well, by we, I mean them, right? That they start to embody to justify that particular cold way of looking at things. So no, as a machine, it's not going to think like that, not going to operate like that. So let's continue on here. It says, Hawala is one well-known example of an untraditional payment channel. This approach to payments relies on an extensive network of trusted contacts like friends or family members. Once again, like I said, that's very risky. We're talking about moving a massive amount of money. I don't care who you are and how great you think your family is. You can't really trust all your family members and friends when it comes to massive amounts of money that you're going to be funneling through. You're sending all your paychecks or half your paychecks, 3/4 of your paycheck, 1/4 of your paycheck through every week. And you have to trust that this is going to go through a myriad of these friend and family member channels, right? Pathways, in order to make it to whoever it is that's supposed to be the end recipient. That's very risky when you could just send it through Cello or XRP, XLM, like that, from you to that individual. That's all it takes in 2 to 3 seconds. That's all it takes. And that is so much safer and more secure. And this is why I don't understand why the SEC doesn't realize how it hurt those populations, not just XRP holders. They hurt migratory populations when migratory populations are coming into a lot of countries, a myriad of countries, in mass. What? Who are you protecting? Who is the SEC protecting? Let me not ask too many questions. I want to keep my channel. Hold on a second. Let's scroll down a little bit. FX alternatives for financial institutions. Importantly, these unregulated flows of funds are not necessarily illegal operations. That's very true. In some cases, they can be offered by fully licensed operators that simply have more liquidity than other, more mainstream channels. In fact, gray market channels are sometimes used by well-known financial brands and businesses searching for more affordable alternatives or lower FX rates. Anecdotally, there are a number of stories or references to brands even operating underserved markets teams. Of course, these transactions are not without risk. While the benefits have in the past outweighed the risk for many consumers and some institutions, there are instances where payments are not completed and even examples of financial institutions having had their funds frozen as a result of gray market transaction. That's another thing. The finality of cryptocurrency rails is amazing when it comes to things like that. So you know that your payment is going to go through. There's enough liquidity on XRPL, Stellar, instant liquidity. One you have on-demand liquidity, one you have what they're calling instant liquidity. And you know that money is going to make it to where it's supposed to go. You can confirm it on the blockchain. There's a lot of security there. And so it negates things like this. So once again, like I said, this is why, one of the major reasons why I believe that the blockchain-based cryptocurrency rails are going to succeed. They're going to go absolutely parabolic. And this is just a very low base reason. Like, this is not even taking into account B2B cross-border payments, commercial bank to commercial bank payments, and commercial banks to layperson payments, central bank payments, central bank digital currencies, national digital currency. This isn't taking any of that other stuff into account. This is just at the person level, at the people's level, okay? Moving fiat from person to person, family member to family member, across borders, making it easier. That's just at this level. So I believe, yes, they need this. The people are going to need this. And there's another thing I want to add, just in closing, I would like to add. People don't trust banks. They don't trust banks at all, and they shouldn't trust banks. You have one banking run if there's a disaster of any type, like the redacted or something else occurs, certain unsavory things occur with the banks. Banks will shut their doors. They will freeze accounts, and you won't be able to get anything out of there. But when you're dealing with crypto, you can still send money. Some people keep their crypto in their cold wallets, like their cold wallets are banks. They keep their USDC, USDT, or whatever it might be, their stable coins in their cold wallets, like their banks. So they're always able to send money. You don't have to worry about banks. They don't have to trust anybody but themselves. Of course, there's risks with custodying your own stuff, but there's also risks with the banks, right? You want to get out a massive amount of money, the banks might not give you a certain amount. They might limit how much you can take out in a day. And when you have this massive amount of money sitting there, it depends on your account, right? With crypto, you may not have to worry about that. And you can send as much money as you want, remove the money when you want. If the banks have a bank run or there's an issue, there's a redacted happening, right? You're still having access to your funds. So individuals who are in situations like that will trust a non-banking financial institution or let's say an institution like Ripple or Stellar or Auream. They will trust them more, and they will find security in, for lack of a better word, the security of being able to send money so quickly and so effortlessly as they can, utilizing these particular banking protocol. Okay, so I hope that all came out clear. It's my first video back. I'm trying my best to get my mind functioning at full capacity once again. So I appreciate everyone being here and listening to what I had to say. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.